So thank you all for joining us today. And what we're going to do, Jason Jordan and myself, is we're going to I'm going to give a little bit of context for the SNAC plugin that we've been developing. And Jason, the developer, will give a quick run through of the plugin. Okay. Now, just so everyone is aware, the session is being recorded and will be made available on the SNAC website as soon as possible following the presentation. After Jason's demonstration, there will be a question and answer discussion at the end, and questions should be submitted in chat. So I'm Daniel Pitti. I'm the director of the SNAC Cooperative, and my co-presenter today is Jason Jordan. He's the ArchivesSpace SNAC plugin developer, and both of us are at the University of Virginia. So, well, most people are probably aware of who and what SNAC is. Briefly, for those who may not be aware, SNAC is a community of cultural heritage professionals sharing the work of describing the corporate bodies, persons, and families that created or are documented in historical records linked to descriptions of the records, and all interrelated in a vast and growing social document network. And what is this? It is a powerful historical resource that provides, let me move all the participants off to the right so I can read, that provides union access to dispersed historical resources, and that provides access to the social networks within which the people, organizations, and families exist or existed. So now, just a bit of context for overall work going on within SNAC is based on SNAC community requests. We're developing tools for batch ingest of large sets of data. This has two pieces to it. One is a web service for batch extraction of corporate bodies, persons, and family description from EAD in tab separated value form, which can be then opened in OpenRefine, and we're developing a plugin as well for OpenRefine, SNAC plugin that allows you to refine the data, do identity reconciliation against SNAC, and ultimately to push descriptions of your resources and CPF entities into SNAC. And then the second tool that we're developing is ArchivesSpace plus a SNAC plugin, which will, of course, be what's featured today. And then the third element of developing tools for inputting data into SNAC is LightSNAC, which is form-based wizard for input of basic repository, resource description, and corporate body and person and family description. The overall rationale for these three projects is facilitating adding new data to SNAC, as well as being able to update and maintain an alliance of local description with SNAC. The rationale for ArchivesSpace SNAC plugin is to facilitate integrating everyday processing and description in ArchivesSpace with participating in SNAC. One of the things that members that use ArchivesSpace plus are participating in SNAC is wanting to make it not seamless, but certainly lower the threshold for being able to both pull data from SNAC as well as to push data into SNAC. And so those are the two things that we're focused on, making it efficient to pull data from SNAC. So if you have a new entity that you've come across in processing your records, and you could check to see if that new CPF entity is in SNAC. And if it is, you can pull the data from SNAC directly into ArchivesSpace. And then the other is you don't find something in SNAC and you create it locally, a CPF entity, or your repository description, you can push both of those to SNAC. And Jason will be showing how that's done. And it's worth noting that any ArchivesSpace user that installs the SNAC plugin can pull data from SNAC. But being able to push local data into SNAC is restricted to cooperative members. And they have to register, get a login, they need to get SNAC editing training so they understand the nature of SNAC and the editing process. And Jason will cover a bit of that in a moment, but just want to point out that the data in SNAC is free. Okay. So other technical development that's underway is vocabulary management. There are a lot of controlled concept vocabulary terms that are used in SNAC to describe the CPF entities. And we're now putting in place a robust means of managing those different controlled concept category vocabularies. The other major development is vastly expanding the relations vocabulary, which is to say the semantics of being able to connect CPF to CPF and CPF to resource description, as well as CPF to place. And then on the horizon is complete revision of the place term management. So with that, I hope that provides you a little bit of context for the cooperative, a bit of a quick overview of the different things that we're working on. And now at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Jason for his demonstration of the plugin. And then following the demonstration, as I mentioned before, we'll have a question and answer period. And Jason will respond to technical questions. I'll respond to policy questions. And welcome today to Christine DeBella from Lyrasis, who will field if there are any ArchivesSpace questions. She'll field those. So with that, I'll stop sharing and let Jason begin sharing.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here. My name is Jason Jordan, and I am a software developer for the UVA library. I've been working on an ASpace plugin to integrate with SNAC. The plugin requires ASpace 3.0 to work. However, there was an issue with the SSL certificate provider that SNAC uses, which required a change to the ASpace codebase to correct. The good news is this change has already been made and should be included with an upcoming release of ASpace after it has been fully tested. Until then, the SNAC plugin takes a little bit of tweaking to get working. And if you want to try to get it working, I'm happy to help you do that. The SNAC plugin is available on GitHub and has a README that covers installation and usage, as well as the necessary ASpace user permissions required to use the various pieces of functionality that the plugin provides. We may have already sent out the GitHub link, and I'll go ahead and paste it into the chat right now. And I'll go ahead and share my screen now and begin the demonstration. Okay, so this is our GitHub page for the project. So after installing the plugin, according to the installation instructions here, the first thing you'll want to do is go into your, now I have to move my participant list here. There we go. Okay, you'll want to go into your ASpace user preferences and select your SNAC environment. So right here we have a SNAC settings section. You really have two choices: development and production. Not specified. Currently defaults to production, but that may change, or this entry may simply be removed. But so development is used for rehearsing changes that you'd like to make, and production is for actually making those changes. Now there's also a section for a SNAC API key. This is only required if you want to export data from ASpace into SNAC. As Daniel mentioned, it's free for anyone to import data from SNAC. To export data to SNAC, you will need to be a member and have an API key. And you may ask, how can I get an API key? Well, you can generate an API key from the REST API key section of your SNAC user account on the appropriate SNAC server for the environment you chose above here. If you don't have a SNAC user account, you can request one. Now, currently the plugin only saves one API key, but I plan to update it to save one per SNAC environment. In the meantime, if you do use this functionality, you will need to set a different API key if you switch SNAC environments. All right. Next, I'm going to show an export of an ASpace resource to SNAC. But before exporting anything to SNAC, if this is your first time integrating your ASpace repository with SNAC, it's a good idea to check whether the ASpace repository you are working in is already in SNAC. And I'll go there now. This is the repository button. So if up here, you'll have a SNAC button up in the toolbar, and you'll have options to link with SNAC or export to SNAC. And I'll cover these later, but quickly I'll show you that you can search to see if your repository is already in SNAC. I can see there's one entry, but it's not quite this repository, so I know I'm going to be creating a new one. So there are three ways to do it. You can either link it here, export it directly from the repository right here, or you can just let it be automatically exported to SNAC as a holding repository the first time you actually export an ASpace resource. So I'm going to go with the last option. I'm going to let it be created by the resource export that I'm about to do. So I have a resource right here that I like to put into SNAC. So up here in the SNAC toolbar, the first thing that pops up is a link with SNAC option. We encourage you to check for an existing SNAC resource before choosing to export. You have the option, hold on. Okay, so first we want to search to see if we already have this entry in SNAC. Well, we don't have one, so we are confident that we can go ahead and export to SNAC. So when you go to the Export to SNAC tab, you have the option to include any linked agents. And doing this will export any of this resource's linked agents into SNAC as well, if they haven't already been exported previously. On the SNAC side, the resource will be created and it will be tied together with the linked agents' identities that were created or already existed based on their roles with this resource. So down here are the agent links. These are the linked agents that I'm talking about. So if I choose to include linked agents when I export this resource to SNAC, then it will attempt to pull in this, a collectibles, and this creator, Harriet Sophia Rowley. So now you can choose to export. You can go directly to any resource that you'd like and export it. There's no restriction on which ones you can export. But if you include linked agents here, it's going to include linked agents that are published. And I know ahead of time that this source, the collectibles source, is not published, but this creator is. So I'm going to go ahead and do the export, including the linked agents, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we created a job. We'll refresh the page. It has completed successfully. So we see here, the logging tries to be kind of helpful and show you a little bit of what happened. The first thing that we do is it checks this resource that we exported. It sees that there's a holding repository that has not been exported, so it went ahead and exported it. So now our Albert and Shirley Small Special Collections Library should exist in SNAC. Then it exports the resource next. And finally, it finds the published linked agents, which is just the one, and ties it together with the resource in SNAC. Now we can go back to our resource and check it out. Okay, so now that we've exported this resource to SNAC and we go to the SNAC toolbar, it'll look a little different. You'll have the option to view this in SNAC or unlink with SNAC, and I'll cover that in a bit. So when this resource is exported to SNAC, what happens is a link is created, and since we don't have really a clean place to put this link, I've kind of shoehorned it into the external documents section. There'll be a document titled SNAC. It'll have a location of this resource in SNAC. So I'll go back up here. I'll show you what it looks like in SNAC. We can click view this in SNAC, and that'll open up a new window to show the resource in SNAC. It pulls in the resource type, title, abstract, builds an extent, and links it with a holding repository and the linked agent. Okay, so next I want to show an agent export to SNAC. Okay. So right here, there's my sample agent that I'd like to export with SNAC. If we click the SNAC link up here in the toolbar, once again, we encourage you to check for an existing SNAC identity before choosing to export. Again, there's not one there, so we feel confident we can export this one. So over here, when we choose to export it, we have the option to include linked resources. You don't have to do that, but if you do, it'll export any linked resource records that are in this agent, if they haven't already been exported. On the SNAC side, the new identity will be created based on this agent, and it will be tied together with the linked resources that will be created or already existed based on their roles with this agent. So again, you can go to any agent in your ASpace installation and choose to export it. But if you include linked resources, then only ones that are published will be exported alongside it. One other thing to take note of is only resources that are in the same ASpace repository that you're in will be exported. If you have other ASpace repositories that contain resources linked to this agent, they will not be included in the export. So I'm going to go ahead and perform this export. I'm going to include the linked resources. So I want you to confirm. Okay, so once the job's completed, you click refresh. We can come down here and see that first thing we do is we create the resources in SNAC, and at the end, we create the agent, create the identity in SNAC, and so that we can link the existing resources to that identity. Now I can go back to my agent here in ArchivesSpace. The way we link records from SNAC, between SNAC and ASpace, is using the record IDs section. We have the SNAC URL for the agent, and we have the arc. They're identical. The arc actually resolves to the SNAC URL, and the plugin prefers to use the SNAC URL for the link as well because it contains the SNAC ID of the resource or the agent. And that's very useful information for the plugin. But we provide both for convenience. So now, if you go to the SNAC toolbar, you can see now that's changed again because we've exported this into SNAC. We have the options to view this in SNAC or unlink with SNAC. I'll cover unlinking shortly. So let's view this agent in SNAC. All right, so here's our agent. Here are the resources that he was a contributor of. And we can pop these open and see that the resources were also pulled in. And linked appropriately. Okay. So now let's talk about linking ASpace agents or resources to SNAC. First of all, I imagine this would be used primarily with agents, and that's the example I will use here. So here's an agent that I'd like to link with SNAC, and linking is different from exporting. Exporting pushes data to SNAC, linking just finds an existing entry and creates a link between ASpace and SNAC. So let's go ahead and search. Oh, we see we have one record, and this may be our person. In here, we can actually click the link to pop open a SNAC window and view the identity, and to do any further confirmation that we want to select this person. I think it looks right, so I'm going to go ahead and click the select button. That will populate the SNAC ID down here, with which we'll use to create the link. If you're having trouble searching for a matching record, but you know the SNAC page of the person you're looking for, you can pull off at the end of the URL, you can grab the SNAC ID, put that in this box, and for extra confirmation, you can click lookup and make sure it's who you want it to link to. So the value in here will be used for linking. So I'll go ahead and link this entry with SNAC. And that's going to, once again, create record information in the identity information section of the agent. So let's go down here. Linking's fairly quick, very little changes. So go ahead and go back to the agent in ArchivesSpace. And we'll see here that the record IDs were created, and that's all that happened. This is what we use to determine whether there's a link between ASpace and SNAC. So now that it's linked, you can pop open the SNAC menu in the toolbar, and you'll have the option to view or unlink. If you click view, it'll take you right to where we expect it to go. Okay, now unlinking is the inverse operation of linking, as you might expect. This is used to break the link between ASpace and SNAC, and to demonstrate that, I'll go back to this resource. So if you'd like to remove the links to SNAC, you go over here to the Unlink with SNAC tab, and not sure why that's not working, but I'll reload the page. Sometimes the menus get a little funky. Okay, so Unlink with SNAC. You have the option now to include any linked agents in this unlinking process. So if you've made a big change, like you've exported this agent or this resource previously and exported linked agents as well, you can go back and unlink all those agents as well in one fell swoop. So you don't have to go and do them all individually. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So I'm going to include the linked agents that I created earlier and click Unlink with SNAC. This will not actually remove anything in SNAC. It's just going to break the link between the two systems. It'll ask you for confirmation. This creates a job, the job runs. When it's completed, you refresh. Okay, and then you can see that we first unlink this resource with SNAC, and then it went through and found all the published linked agents and unlinked those as well. So we'll go back to our resource to do one final check on it. All right, we click the SNAC menu, and you can see there's no link now. You once again are back to square one on this. You can link with SNAC, or I don't encourage re-exporting at this time, but you can search and you can find the one that you had linked previously if you like, and link it again. So that's kind of how the linking and unlinking works. Okay. Finally, let's see. Now I'd like to cover importing agents from SNAC into ArchivesSpace. So to do that, you go to this gear menu, go down to plugins. You should see a SNAC import option. So here's the search page for importing. This page conveniently shows you which SNAC environment you're pointed to that you're pulling information from. And you can actually click on that, pop open the page if you want to investigate further. So currently, when we do an import, we just import name entries and the arc. And I'll demonstrate a couple searches here. Okay, so once you've done a search, you'll get some results, hopefully. For each one, you can click Show Details, and that'll pull up a little bit of info, condensed info about the identity that you're looking at, that this is pointing to. And you can hide that if you want it out of your way. And you can do that for any of these. If you hide it, click it again, it should pop right back open. It caches. So I'd like to I'll select George Washington Carver. So he'll go over here. He'll start being added to this import list. And if you don't see who you want on page one, well, you can continue paging and see if you find who you're looking for further along in the searches. And you can continue to accumulate identities over here before you import, and you can go ahead and search for anything else and just continue to add to this list. Okay, search for banana. Say, well, Anna Banana is somebody I was looking for to add to my list. I'd like to import her as well. And you can continue to do this, keep looking, keep searching, perform further searches if you like. And once you're finally happy, you can go ahead and click the import button to begin the process of importing these identities into ArchivesSpace. And it'll ask you for confirmation. Click OK. And the import's complete, and we'll refresh the page to pull up the links to the new agents. Let's look at George Washington Carver. Okay, so like I said, we pull in just the name forms, and you can see the different name forms that were in SNAC are now also in ArchivesSpace. We also created the record IDs that point to SNAC within the record control information section. And using those links, the plugin knows that we have a link to SNAC, and we can go ahead and take a peek at the identity in SNAC. So you can see here, here's the name, the variant names we pulled in, and much more information that we didn't, but the link is there. Okay. So I think that more or less covers everything. There are some limitations on what the plugin can currently do, which we aim to address. For example, there's currently no way to push any changes made to an existing ASpace agent or resource to SNAC after the link to SNAC has been made, whether through linking or exporting. Also, ASpace agents and resources can only be associated with one SNAC environment at a time. It would be nice if the plugin could track these links on a per SNAC environment basis, so that links stored in ASpace are correct for the SNAC environment you are working in. Also, linked ASpace agents and resources that are included during export currently do not check for existing entries in SNAC. So it is possible for duplication to occur when those linked items are exported. And those are some of the issues that we see from our end. We'd really like to hear from you about functionality that would be useful in your workflows, whether mundane or lofty. So please feel free to contact me directly or create an issue in our GitHub repository. Once again, thank you for coming, and I will now open the floor to questions.
There's a few questions already queued up, so I'll start going from the top down. And the first question is the include linked resources and include linked agents all or nothing?
Yes, it's all or nothing. It will pull in all published linked agents or resources, or none of them.
Yeah. Just off the top of your head, how difficult do you think it would be to make it so you could select them? So you could say, yes, I want to go ahead and export that one, but not that one.
Off the top of my head, I am not sure, but I will look into that because that's a great idea.
Yeah. Next question, does searching if the agent exists in SNAC also include its linked resources? If the agent is not in SNAC, but one of the resources is, would you be duplicating the resource if you leave the include link resources box checked? I think I could feel that one. I sense that one of the issues, and I think Jason has alluded to this, is you kind of have to know what's in SNAC when you're doing things. And so that's one dimension of this that we need to think about, ways of making that knowing what is and isn't there as efficient as possible. I sure wish this was more interactive, because I never know whether I've answered the person's question adequately or not. I just long to be back in a room with people. So next question. So if we have an agent linked to multiple resources across several repositories, how would we best get those links into SNAC for those resources?
That would be a little complicated. The first time, if you have an agent that hasn't been exported to SNAC yet, the first time you export that agent to SNAC, it can pull in all the linked resources for that agent in that repository. Then when you switch repositories in ASpace, the agent still is going to have a link to SNAC, so you're not going to have a quick and easy button to export any linked resources as well. That's a limitation that we'd like to improve, have some sort of way of synchronizing, for lack of a better word, the two systems. So currently it would be a manual process for all the subsequent repositories after you've created the agent.
Yeah, that's something to think about, what ways of adding that kind of functionality in. So if you're pushing a resource and the agent is already in SNAC, have the ability to say, when you push this resource into SNAC, link it to this agent.
Daniel, I'd like to address the previous question real quick as well. About the linked resources being possibly duplicated. And I would just like to say that they will not be duplicated as long as there's already a link to SNAC in that resource, in that linked resource or linked agent. Only if there's no existing link will a new one be created. But there's no programmatic checking to see if what we're creating at that point is a duplicate. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, next question. What if there is a similar name already in SNAC, which is really the same thing? For example, if there was already a David M. Lesser Fine Antiquarian Books, LLC, without the period between Lesser and Fine, would the search recognize that they are the same?
They may or may not, but I didn't actually demonstrate this, but what you can do is edit the text in that box and take out parts that you think are contributing to a bad match, or you could completely put something else in there if you like. So it's a free-form text field that you can edit to refine your searches.
Yeah, minor differences like that shouldn't present an issue. If you have different spellings and the like, then that could create issues. But we could because we do have in the background the ability to retrieve things that are a close, if not exact, match. And I don't know how difficult that would be to implement into that search, but that would be one option. It's called like edit distance. So if someone misspelled antiquarian, you would still find it if it's only a minor difference in spelling. Okay, next question. Will unpublished accession or resource records be linked to?
Only if, first of all, I think it would only be resources. I don't think accessions make it to SNAC, but they will only be linked to SNAC if you go directly to that resource and link it, because you're free to link anything anywhere that you like, whether published or not. It's only when you click if you're doing an export, if you click the if you do an export and you click the include linked whatever option, then those linked items will only be included if they're published. But whatever you're looking at in front of your screen can be linked to SNAC.
Okay, next question. Wouldn't it be better compliance with the ACCPF standards to record the SNAC ID in the entity ID field rather than the record ID field? In that record ID identifies the ACCPF instance while entity ID is used to record. Basically, the answer to that would be if the identifier in SNAC is not identifying the person or our CPF entity as such, it's identifying the description in SNAC. And so I wouldn't put it in a record ID. And in fact, when putting SNAC together, we didn't use, we used a CPF relation in the ACCPF to link to descriptions in other systems, which is essentially what it is. Okay. Does the linking with SNAC feature pull in any additional agent data from SNAC that you may not have had, or is it only adding to the record ID fields?
It's only adding to the record ID fields.
Yeah. And as Jason mentioned earlier, what's pulled from SNAC is limited. It gets rather complicated. I mean, some things would be relatively easy to do in terms of pulling them, and others would be a bit more complicated. But there's also an issue on the SNAC side in that the BioHIS, for example, we need to do some massive cleanup on it because of just inconsistencies. And plus, many of the entities have multiple BioHIS because of the way in which we built SNAC. We essentially just accumulated biographies when we found we had the same person but a different biography. So there, there's issues on that side, but we could look into making it possible to import more data. And one thought Jason had was, well, we could just take the BioHIS and we could put it in a note field, and then people could just pick it apart and use it however they wanted. But I said, let's defer on that for the time being. And if it did make sense to people, we could go ahead and do that. I think this is about searching. Is what order are the results in, and why isn't it alphabetical? It's doing a relevancy ranking is the way it's being retrieved. But I suspect we could look into the ability, because I know just in doing authority control quite frequently, alphabetical order really means a lot and is helpful. We could look at that as the possibility of sorting the search results. What do you think, Jason?
Yes, that's a possibility.
We could have it by default be relevance ranking, but then allow you to rearrange it. Here's a compliment, and I'll go ahead and pass it on. I like how the details are displayed under the show details compared to the LCNAF plugin. So there you go, a compliment. that particular piece of the code is based on a fragment of code that was written for the Open Refine plugin, and we just reused it. So the ability when you're doing identity resolution that you can explore further some information in SNAC if you're uncertain just based on the name. Are there any deduplication plans on the horizon for SNAC? We've actually engaged in a number of deduplication in SNAC. When we built SNAC, we erred on the side of false negatives because false positive are such a nightmare to unravel. And we figure it's easier to merge duplicates than it is to split an entity when you've accidentally merged more than one into one description. But some of the things that we've done lately is we did a massive deduplication on corporate bodies, which we targeted the most the biggest offenders in terms of the number of duplicates. And that actually reduced the number of corporate bodies in SNAC by a couple of 100,000. And then we've been doing some other work recently with repositories, and that shrunk the number of duplicates there a bit. And then with the vocabulary management work that we're doing, we've done a lot of batch refining and updating there, and moving, and in terms of moving towards a fast approach to associating concept terms, we've stripped off a lot of the qualifiers at the end of terms. So we're doing a fair amount of work there, but if someone has specific areas where we can do batch processing and get a lot done with it, we certainly entertain suggestions. Okay, I need to keep an eye on the time. We're almost at the end of this. When the plugin looks for agents in SNAC, does it search only by name matching approximation, or does it try to find matches based on URIs, LCNAF, BIF, etc.? And the answer to that, it's looking at names in SNAC, that we could entertain the possibility of being able to search by IDs as well. Lots of good ideas coming out in the questions. I mean, the initial work, Jason, sort of focused on, we want to get the basic primitives working, and then of course, then once you have them, really what you rely on and want is feedback, so that you're just not willy-nilly developing features that people don't want, but you develop features that they do want. So I think maybe we have time for one more question, but okay, I think most of it tended to be, the rest of them there is our suggestions, and I wouldn't know exactly how either Jason or I would answer them. At this point, I would like to thank Jason. Nice job demoing it. You didn't go too fast. The pace was good.
Right.
And we do hope people, find what Jason's done so far promising. And we do very much, want feedback. And I'd also like to thank Christine DeBello for Laris's support in promoting our little demo today. So with that said, thanks everybody again, and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.